show some additional features of eSchoolPLUS 3.1 that you want to be aware of. First, we're going to talk about how the new version handles student information and your ability to quickly get at student information. The first thing we're going to take a look at is how it handles IEPs and other attachments to the student record. So I've just opened up the gradebook here for a particular class, and if you look on row 1, there's what looks to be like a paper clip over a piece of paper, and this is an attachment. So if you click on that, it's going to say that this particular student has the one attachment. Now if you want to open that, what you need to do is you need to open it. You need to click on the student. Notice when I scroll over any of the students, they become hyperlinks. And so I'm going to open that up, and when I do, or when I click on that student, you're going to see that a drawer pops open from the bottom. Now this drawer is new, and this is how you can, again, quickly access student information. So here's the name of the student. Notice if you click down here, you can see you can quickly jump to other students as well. Also, you can navigate to other students by clicking these arrows. This will advance to the next student. This will advance to the last student. If you keep scrolling across the drawer, there's a question mark symbol. This will tell you more information about the drawer. You can close the drawer here, and then right below that you can see there's that attachment. And this attachment happens to be an IEP. Let's click on that. You can see here is this. In this case, it's a sample IEP we just put in here for demonstration purposes. And if you click on that, it will open. So I'm going to close that, and we can further explore this window. Now there's a picture. Notice the picture, when you scroll over it, it will zoom in, and then there's some contact information for the student. In this case, cell phone numbers. If there were an email address, that would appear here as well. And then scrolling across to the right, you can see that there's a place where you can add a note. Now this is a place where you would add notes, say if you contacted parents, or you had a conversation with another colleague, or you had a conversation with a student, or perhaps you had some other information about the student you wanted to record. You can add a note here, and you can store them here. And then going below that, you can see that there's a place for missing assignments. This will show the missing assignments. So imagine if you're in a parent conference, this is going to be a very handy window for you to, or a very handy place for you to go to not only get at any notes you have about the student, but also discuss any missing assignments. You can also take a look at the student's schedule to the left of the missing assignments square. And so I think the drawer is going to be very, very helpful. So I'm going to close that, and we're going to move on to the next part. Another new great feature of this version, or in this version of eSchool 3.1, is the ability to create rubrics and also score assignments using rubrics. And the way you get started with that is by starting from your gradebook. So I'm going to click on the gradebook, and then creating an assignment. So I'm going to use that assignment button over on the right of the gradebook page. And then you need to set up your assignment. So I'm going to give this, I'm going to call this paragraph 1. And give an assignment date. And of course the due date as well. That's required. I can give it a description. I'm not going to do that right now for the sake of this demonstration. And of course there's a category here that's associated with it, and then right where it says rubrics competencies, you can see there's a square box there. It's striped, and I'm going to click on that box, and it's going to open up the competencies and rubrics dialog box. And here, if you want to read more about this and get the specifics of what you're capable of doing here and learn more about this, click this question mark. But I'm just going to move through this and explain it briefly. At the very top on the left side, you see a link to select saved rubrics, and this is a place where you can go to get rubrics that will be stored here in the future that are district approved rubrics. Right now there's just one there, but in the future there will definitely be more that you can use, and just copy and use those rather than make your own. But in this case, I'm going to create my own. And if I scroll over here, or if I look over on the right where it says rubric type, I'm going to select available for all my assignments, and this makes sense. Rather than making this just saved for this assignment only, I'm going to make this available for all my assignments in case I want to use this in the future. And for assignment points, rather than adding all the points for the rubric together, I'm going to get an average. And then I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to add a rubric code or a rubric title. I'm going to call this paragraph rubric, and I can add a description if I'd like. And for number of performance levels, I'm going to make it 4, and for number of criteria, I'll make it 3, and you can see that the rubric down below has adjusted. And for my performance levels, over to the right, I'll make this advanced, and then my next one down will be proficient, basic, and below basic, or whatever you want it to be. And then my criteria, I'll have 3 criteria here. Since this is a paragraph, I'll be looking at the topic sentence, I'll be looking at the details, and then I'll also look at the concluding sentence, just as an example again. And then I will assign my point total. So again, I'm looking for an average, and I'm going to make the average out of 4. And you can see, once I've done that, it's automatically added the score values for each of the performance levels for each one of the criteria. And I can also further describe what an advanced looks like, what a proficient looks like for each of the criteria. For right now, since I'm just showing what this looks like, I'm not going to do that. And I'll click Save. And you can see now I'm back to the assignment details drawer that came in from the side over here in the gradebook. And you can see now the rubrics and competencies has changed. Now there's this, there's these two what look like rulers here, representing the fact that there is a rubric associated with this assignment. I've got points. I'm going to leave this as not extra credit, and I am going to publish this. I'm going to publish it in Hack in the Home Access Center as an assignment, and also I want to publish the scores. And I'm going to make it so it can't be dropped, and I'm going to save it. Okay, so now you can see I've got this assignment, paragraph number 1. And if I want to add scores to this, here's what I need to do. I can't just simply add scores in here. You can see I can't. I'm trying to punch in numbers. It's not letting me do that. I need to click on this on this ruler icon right here to add scores. So I'm going to click on that. And you can see I've got this rubric across the top. I've got my student roster down the below, and what I can do here is I can add scores in a number of different ways. I can just click and add the score from my keyboard, tab over, so I just tabbed over, add the next one, and 4, and you can see it's automatically giving me the average. Or I can click on the rubric. So for example, now I'm in the topic sentence for this student. I can just click Advanced, I can go to Details, click the score for details, and so on. Okay, so really nice. Multiple ways to grade, and you can see it's automatically averaging. So rubrics, the addition of rubrics within this version of eSchool is definitely a great feature that you're going to want to take advantage of.